I don't know what that box is.
And I can't. It's a learn more box.
Oh, welcome
YouTube's
to
always
live
trying
chat.
to teach us new things, you know.
Yeah. So we're learning on the spot. So yeah, this is behind the videos number 6. This is the official music video for Playing a Little Basketball. Just a series of videos that I'm doing showing how I made my official music videos. This one's a very special one, doing it live like usual, but it's special because I have Henrique Couto here, the director of the music video. You can find out more about him at henflix.com. He's also on YouTube. If you just look him up and subscribe, that'd be awesome too. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe to this channel. I guess I'm going to start real quick with how Henrique and I kind of met. This is a brief story. This goes, as far as I remember, we met at a show of mine at Elbows. Is that?
I don't think it was Elbows. Shoot. See, the problem is there were so many venues.
Yeah.
It might have been One Eye Jack's.
Yeah.
No, I think it was. I think it was Jay Madewell.
Okay.
Might have been our connective tissue.
Yeah.
Because I know that Jay was singing your praises very early, or maybe it was South Park Tavern. See, it's like it was one of those. I feel like it was one of those two.
Okay.
But Jay Madewell always sang your praises very, very much, and Jay was the drummer of many of the projects I was doing at the time, and he ran the Rock and Roll Play Date and stuff like that. And he had told me about you with what I consider to be some of the highest possible praise, which is he said that you were very just legitimate. You legitimately wanted to be good at what you did, and you loved what you did, and that's a lot. That says a lot, because a lot of people go into playing music with some degree of cynicism or some degree of means to an end attitude. Yeah. But not you, and that is definitely not. It's definitely true.
Yeah, that's probably the single biggest thing I'm known for. Is I'm just me. I'm doing what I love, and I'm making the music that I want to make. And it's really easy to become cynical when you're doing it, because there's so much rejection. Whether you're an independent filmmaker like yourself, or an independent musician like me, or if you're an artist, any of those things is going to come with a 95% rejection rate.
I think
maybe
that's
higher.
even kind. I think that's a kind rejection rate. Yeah.
I'm basing that off of my 2002 tour that I put together, where I sent out 200 demos, this is before the internet was really a big thing. Like, it existed, but for booking shows, you contacted venues. You called them, and a lot of them had you can book shows on Mondays and Fridays from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And if you call and we're busy because we're talking to another artist, well, then you just have to call the next window. And, everybody took physical demos. So I actually mailed out 200 physical demos, booked 9 shows out of that.
Oh, wow.
So that's a 95% rejection rate right there. And that's just something that you have to, you have to learn
on the
how
flip
to do
side,
it.
5% success rate.
Yes.
That's what's up.
That's how you have to look at it. Forget about the 95%. Don't even acknowledge really the 95%.
You probably don't remember those people at all.
No, I don't.
You only remember the places you got together.
I don't remember where I got rejected, but I can tell you right now, several places, including Jackrabbits in Jacksonville, Florida, a place in Pittsburgh whose name just slipped my mind, but it was it had this really cool interior though, because it was like a hybrid piano bar, and the floor was this bright white tile, as opposed to most venues where you go in everything's dark. And, they're just trying to hide it. But that's just kind of the feel of a lot of places. And then so Henrique, I hadn't seen you in years, and then I played at the South Park Tavern one night, and you were
there. It was.
I think this was before you had quit your job.
Yeah, I still had a day job at that point.
Yeah. And we talked about music that night, and then we kind of reconnected, and we've been kind of keeping in touch and watching each other's careers. And this man right here has been able to make a living off of making films, which is an inspiration. I know how hard it is to get to be able to make a living off of what you're passionate about. It's a huge challenge, and it's a risk every day. When you're on your way to it, and when you're there trying to stay there, I know it's tough. So that's for me, you're actually inspirational. You're one of those things I look at as I keep going. It's Henrique's there. I know some people that have made it, and I will keep doing the same thing.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is you can't be smart enough to quit. That's the secret, though. There really is. There's a level of true ignorance that I highly recommend. if you want to work, if you're not even in the arts, if you want to work for yourself, if you want to do something you're passionate about, as you know, with the majority of your time, you really have to like have no clue how bad an idea it might be, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm very fortunate. I often say when I made my first movie, I probably only made it because I had no concept of just how horribly I could have failed. I just had no idea. So I just went for it. But looking back, I'm like, wow, I could have failed so hard and like burned every bridge with all of my friends and been so broke. I mean, I don't know if I could have been more broke than I was then, but it's possible.
Yeah, there are definitely moments where I'm like, can I be more broke? But yeah, I've been more broke. So
yeah, exactly. So, but no, but thank you. It's very flattering of you to say. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been following you on there every now and then. You know, you drop a crowdfunding campaign. If I had a couple shekels, I was always happy to throw it your way. And it was always people think, you know, that I don't notice. I notice when I see people at my premieres that just have a smile and a handshake for me. I really appreciate it. I mean, it means the world, especially. I mean, you've been, I don't know exactly how many, but you've been to a lot of my movie premieres.
Yeah.
And it's it's exhilarating, but it's exhausting and it's scary. And just a friend to say, hey, and just, you know, all they want to do is say, like, great job, thank you, makes a huge difference, especially after all of that exhaustion. Even if the screening goes amazingly, it's just so good to see a friendly face.
Yeah.
So, and I remember. But so what year did we do this? I've been trying to rack my brain. The years kind of blur together. Was this 2015 or 20? It was 2015, right? Or 2016, playing a little basketball.
Oh, well, it was before I moved to Cincinnati, I moved in 2015 to Cincinnati. I was in Oxford before that.
Because I think it was early 2015.
So yeah, because I moved in June. I think we did the video in April of 2015.
Yeah, I know it was a little chilly out. It wasn't like cold, but I remember it being a little chilly out. So 2015, that means that was not quite a year into me being self-employed either. So that just helps me get a context of when we were doing it, because I had just, if I'm remembering correctly, I had just purchased a new camera, which allowed us to do some of the cool slow-mo shots that we have in the video and things like that. And I was excited to go out and do something. I think that I did the Jasper the Colossal video like 3 months earlier. I think when they were putting out a CD, which was then playing in the snow. That was their whole concept. They didn't want to lip sync or anything. They just wanted playing in the snow. And then you didn't want to do a traditional video either.
I think, I mean, there might be a handful of spots in some of my songs where I lip sync, like the video for Extra, I'm actually saying the chorus, you know, while I'm sitting there. But the vast majority of my videos, I just kind of want a visual story going on that what either accentuates what's already going on in the lyrics or fits it in some way. And, you know, you can do the lip syncing thing and that's fine. It's just never been my thing.
Yeah, I think it's a very antiquated way to go. I think that at this point, at this juncture, if you're going to do a lip syncing video, you better be really good at connecting with the camera and doing it. Because now it's not a prerequisite that every band have to do that or you don't have a video.
Right.
But I remember when we first started talking about it, when you mentioned there'd be no lip sync, I was like, oh, well, this is going to be smooth sailing, because the hardest part is nailing lip sync.
Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly when you approached me. I remember getting a Facebook message.
Yeah.
And you saying, "Hey, handsome," which always gets my attention immediately. But what do you remember? I'd love to hear your remembrance of it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the face, I don't remember the exact day that I sent the message either. I just knew like, and I had done, let's see, I recorded Playing a Little Basketball in 1996. And so I wanted to do something for the upcoming 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
So maybe this was 2016.
It could have been early 20.
Oh yeah, because this is 2019 now. So I moved to Cincinnati in 2016.
Oh, okay.
3 years ago. So
then
yeah,
maybe it was early.
I think
2016.
it was April of 2016.
Okay, fair enough.
And we'll find out when we hit play. It'll be uploaded on that year. But yeah, I think it was April 2016 because I wanted to do a video for the 20th anniversary of Playing a Little Basketball. Because it was one of my most popular songs and still is, and like I still love performing the song. I just performed it on Friday night, and like I was three songs into my set, and there was somebody there yelling, "Play hello basketball!" And
You're like,
I was like,
well, okay.
it'll be there later. I'm doing the new stuff first, and then I'll get to it. But like, I still love doing it, and I wanted to do it, 20th anniversary. So I approached you about it, and because I knew your background as an independent filmmaker and enjoyed the films you were in, and I can't remember if I was an extra in Making Out already at that point
I
or
think
not.
you would have been then, because Making Out was shot in 2015. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you would have been an extra.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to see the process in action a little bit.
Yeah. So I knew the video would come out well, regardless of anything else, and with the energy that even you're showing here. I mean, this is just who he is. He is just an energetic, sprightly man.
You would never guess I spent the whole day staring at a computer screen mixing audio.
Yeah. So, that's I knew it would come out well, and I wanted to. I like most of my videos I shoot myself. Actually, every other video I've done, I've shot myself. With the exception of maybe like a friend would hold the camera for a minute and do a couple of shots, but most of those videos I could do with like one or two people. But I knew I wanted to make a 5-on-5 type, or at least a 3-on-3 type video, and so I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to have a cast, then I should have a director too. I don't want to be trying to direct a video that I'm also in, and I may as well have a bunch of cool camera angles and be able to have a full story that somebody else is in charge of, and see what happens.
Well, I remember you mentioned that to me, that you've done all of your own videos, which is one of the reasons I amped up the cinematic process. I shot it in 235 aspect ratio, which is like the way John Carpenter shoots movies. It's super, super wide. It's got those bars on the top and bottom to make it extra wide. And we went crazy with the dolly, which got some really cool stuff. I mean, that was a huge luck with shooting in a gym, is you just have this big flat floor. So the first thing I did when we were talking about it, I was like, I'm bringing these wheels, so the camera's just on wheels, and there are shots where I literally just bolted across the gym holding the camera as fast as I could, getting these cool shots. The sense of fun that we got in the video, I really think we managed to capture quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which isn't always easy to do. Sometimes you can't really capture. You have to. I mean, you're staging. I mean, literally, it's a stage.
Yeah.
So we had to. It was interesting. It was an interesting thing for me, because my biggest goal was to capture what I call the Gary face. Which is like that look.
Yeah.
Well, because it's hard to one of my favorite things is to capture a legitimate face, not one that's being posed.
Right. And
we nailed it. There's a shot where we got you making a basket with your eyes closed, which we were totally gonna fake. We were ready to fake it in the video. And then you had your eyes closed and you shot, and it was the close-up too, so we couldn't even see it in one shot. But you just throw it, and it goes in. It was just like it went in, and you opened your eyes, and you're like, oh! And that shot is in the video. It's a great expression too, because at that point we were pretty far into the shoot. You're sweaty, and you just take the shot and you go, all right. So those, because I mean, it's the magic of movies. So we were just gonna have you shoot, and then we could get a cutaway of it going into the hoop, and it looks like you nailed it with your eyes closed. Kind of almost a Karate Kid kind of the Zen teachings, of you learning how to play basketball, and instead you just made the damn hoop. It's great. But so that was a joy, was just being able to kind of capture that. And you had such a ragtag group of people in to play, which was really fun.
Yeah, and that came about because I had never done casting before. I mean, so all I did was send out, like, I put together a Facebook group or a Facebook event page for the shooting of the video, and just said, who wants to be in this? And I sent it out several times. Like, I posted about it several times until I got enough people. At one point, we only had 7 players, and this was like a week before the shooting was going to be. And I'm like, I don't know if we're going to have enough to do this video. I don't know. So hopefully, but I've sent it out one more time, and 3 more people responded. I was like, all right, we have enough for 5-on-5. I even had one more, as an extra, and then one to be the fan. To show how crowded the shot was gonna, how the game was gonna be, you know, how many people were gonna be there because they're so excited, and then a referee, which Mike Steffen made a perfect referee for this video. There's a great shot that I'll mention once we get it rolling here. You can see the actual shot, but all right, in about 10 seconds, we're gonna actually hit play on the video here. One to mention before I do, you can subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get notifications about videos like this. And you can always leave me a tip if you would like it, paypal.me/missionman, or you can Venmo. My user ID is missionmanmusic. And now we will hit the play here.
Play a little basketball. I love your budget Nikes, your own brand.
Yeah, my Mission Man Reeboks. I think they were Reeboks. They might have been Nikes.
Oh, and you see, I did the J.J. Abrams lens flare. I really was trying to like make it super cinematic because I wanted it to be so different from, because most of your videos are super DIY, which is great.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we're going the opposite direction of DIY. You absolutely did not do this yourself.
That jump right there, the reason that was lower is because I actually sprained my calf a little bit.
I remember, yeah, you were a little, you had to push it. That's for sure.
So I sprained it just a little bit, and I'm like, hopefully I'm all right.
Oh, here's the one. Wait till you see his face.
And so there's a little bit of direction here for the video of me saying, yeah, I wanted to do this scene followed by this scene.
Yeah, you had like a nice little breakdown on paper, I remember.
But other than that, like it was Henrique doing the rest of the magic here, and you know, getting them to do these cool little shots, and this moment coming here here makes me laugh every time, because that was also one take that I tossed the thing from off screen, the uniform for the ref, and he caught it, and that was the exact response. That was a one take shot. That was beautiful.
Oh, look at that pull back, and oh yeah, and you guys really just played pretty hard, and I just chased as fast as I could to keep it going because I wanted it to have that. Oh, and I mean,
shame.
Oh yeah, my little cameo as the scorekeeper.
The little cameo that led to the appearance on the Tonight Show,
the Jimmy Fallon thing,
where they actually thought he was Mission Man. So we had a nice little response video of that. And yes, I had custom jerseys made for, you know, blue team, red team, and everybody told me what number they wanted, and I just ordered those online. Figured it would be a nice little souvenir for anybody in the video. And the bands, that little mouse was a gift from Travis there. Most of this is Counterfeit Money Machine and Dipspit are the two bands that basically made up 7 of the people that are playing. And that was my game-winning dunk, even though we won by 9.
At that point, I imagine I had just given up on keeping score. I was like, it's impossible. And then the hugging it out. I like this. And he's like, oh, fine.
He has so much force there. Like, he almost knocked me over, almost knocked over the entire group. And then
I still have that. I still have my jersey.
And then, of course, the necessary, you know, post-script, you could, you know, got a little shot of them just warming up. I believe we shot this before we did most
yeah, I think we did it early because it required sound.
Yeah. And
that requires more setup, and we were on a little bit of a schedule because we had, you know, we'd rented the half of the whatchamacallit.
The Vandalia Rec Center is where I actually shot that, and that was the first time that I had also done kind of an on location, like got the permission of the place, and I, you know, searched around for a long time online to find what rec centers made sense because I wanted an indoor court. And a lot of the rec centers don't have pictures on their websites, or they don't even have websites at all. So this came down to, I wanted one in the Dayton area because Henrique lives in the area and I lived in Oxford at the time, and I knew everybody in the video was either going to be from Cincinnati or Dayton for the most part. So I wanted a nice central easy spot to have everybody be able to meet, and Vandalia Rec Center was the one that had the pictures that made me go, okay, that's
and it was a nice big gym, good looking, you know, it was in very good repair.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so I think that's why we did that first, was we wanted to get the difficult thing of like wiring us up with microphones done first, and then we could just run until the clock was totally run out. So, and it went, I mean, I'm happy with it. I remember sending in the first cut, and you were pumped, which made me pumped.
Yeah, I was definitely pumped from the first one, and then I had like 3 or 4 very specific pieces of feedback that
Yeah.
I wanted to give. Like I think I decided the game winner was going to be on that dunk as opposed to like a
Yeah,
rebound
it was
shot.
something like that, which helped me
Um,
because I know very little about basketball. So it was helpful for you to be able to describe it to me as if I were a child.
and my experience of actually editing videos together from my own videos allowed me to go at 1 minute 47.03 seconds. This happens, and I want to
Yeah.
change that. And you know, I
But
knew it
that
would be easier for him.
Works great for me because
Yeah.
that's how I operate. So
Yeah.
But no, I'm so happy that you were so happy with it. I hadn't probably peaked it in a few, maybe not quite a year. I think when the Jimmy Fallon thing happened, I rewatched it just because it popped into my head.
Yeah.
But it's a fun, slick little video. And I'm glad that it captured what you wanted, because what you really wanted was a bunch of friends getting together. And
Yeah.
I mean, because you literally made that from the beginning. I mean, literally everybody was just a bunch of friends getting together. All the actors, all the performers, the director. It was all just friends getting together and working together.
Yeah, and that works very much with the theme of playing a little basketball. One of the reasons why I think playing a little basketball holds up even after 20 years, 20 years after writing it, and I wrote it when I was 17, is because it's a song about, I met a friend through basketball. That's the entire first verse is my meeting of BJ in the song. And then the second verse is about our friendship growing because we played basketball together on a daily basis, and basketball brought us closer together. And then the third verse, being about the sacrifice and hard work it takes to be great at something. That becomes kind of an extension of that, but the entire video kind of fits in with the theme of basketball being about friendship as much as it is about anything else, and that's what it was. A bunch of people playing basketball as friends.
I'm very glad that we got to work on it together, and I'm so glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, me too. And the video hitting Jimmy Fallon, I will tell that brief story too, is I was I think I was at home, and I think I was watching something on Netflix maybe, and I got a notification on my phone, and somebody was like, dude, you were just on Fallon. Because I really had no idea that they were going to use it ahead of time. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you were just on Fallon. So I immediately turned on the Tonight Show, watched the rest of the episode. They never mentioned it.
Well, yeah, of course not.
Looked online, it wasn't available yet. I had to wait till the next day to finally see the clip. But once I saw the clip, like it was super exciting. And I shared it as much as possible and all those things. I come to find out, I got a message from one of my fans that said she actually is the one who submitted that, because it was on. Jimmy Fallon was halfway making fun of it. Like the segment was, "Do not play these songs," but really, if you listen to what he was saying, he was making commentary on the 1-0 score here.
Yeah.
And then I watched it enough because I was so excited about that. I
Yeah,
heard
of
him
course.
even say, wait, give it a chance. And the only thing he had to say at the end was, well, at least it was easy to understand everything. And you got last and goes, I didn't understand a word he was saying. So he didn't actually make fun of it. It was just part of this segment. And even if you had, I wouldn't have cared. I mean, it's national television exposure. Everything. But yeah, so kind of find out that a fan submitted it. That's a beautiful thing for me. Knowing that as much as I've put into everything that I do with music, sometimes it is just because my fans connect with it enough that they send it off and it gets somewhere. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to be thought of too. That's such a great. I didn't know the part about fans submitting it. That's great.
Yeah,
that's so great.
So,
and I got text messages too because my face was on the image they used for the songs. Really, dude, your face was on Jimmy Fallon, and I was like, what? And I immediately was like, it's somebody that looks like me. I was like, oh no, that's from playing a little basketball. That's the thumbnail. And that's all because I just ended up on one of the spots where YouTube decides to make your thumbnail.
Yep.
So I wish I could claim that I had engineered that with all of my video know-how. Right. I'm going to be the thumbnail. But I actually had no idea.
I haven't figured out how to actually do a real thumbnail. YouTube just chooses on its own. Same thing with Facebook. It just chooses whatever thumbnail. I'm like, well, I got like maybe 5 that I can choose from on Facebook. YouTube is just, nope, this is it.
It acts in mysterious ways.
Except on these live videos, it lets us actually, it counts down from 3 and lets
Yeah.
us do a pose real quick. So we got that in instead of getting just a weird picture of my shirt, when I was leaning forward.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been the best thumbnail. It would have been the worst, but
Yeah, I've definitely seen worse. Okay, so I mean that's I think that pretty much wraps up the making of playing a little basketball. Unless you had any other.
No, just again, I want to thank you so much for involving me, and I had such a good time. I mean, a lot of those guys were I probably knew about half, maybe a little more than half the people on there, and they were all people I considered to be good friends of mine. So it was just a really awesome experience.
Yeah.
So just thank you, and thank you anybody who has given it a chance and given it a watch.
All right, you guys have a great day. You're probably gonna see the front of my shirt here when I lean forward to stop the broadcast because I can't do it from the remote. There's just I have to actually get up and push the X. So
here comes the money.